Welcome, guys, to this new episode. In this episode, we are going to cover some or others commands. This is the third part about basic commands in Linux, and let's start it. We are going to start one some interesting, and it's about how to copy elements. This is interesting, and I forget something. I forget that we also can create folders, because we create files with touch, but also we can create folders or directories using mkdir. In this case, I don't know, for example. And that's it. So let's continue with CP, that stands for, well, mkdir stands for my directory. In their case, CP stands for copy, and that's it. It's not copy something, it's just copy. And for example, let's copy my pretty file, and I allows to maybe just pass the first argument, and the second argument we can go for another location and just move that file. For example, I'm going to move that file to the I don't know directory, and maybe I don't specify a specific name. We are going to use the same name. As you can see, I'm going to use ls I don't know, and as you can see, we use my pretty file dot whatever. But also, if I repeat the command using the arrow case, and I don't know, I establish or just put a different name, like in this case, I don't know what. I don't know how to use naming in this episode. I'm not 100 creative in this occasion. And list again, I don't know. And as you can see, we have the same file, but well, the same content file, but with different names, because are not the same file. Because if I change something, I want to change the other one. It's just something that shares the same content, but there is no more relation about that. And let's continue maybe with move. Move allows to, as you can understand, and B, change the file or folder location. For example, if I'm going to I don't know folder, and give a different name and go back to the current directory and just move the different name, I don't know, to the current location. As you can see, we move the different name ID key, and if I list the I don't know files, you see that we only have my pretty file, whatever. And move also allows to change the file name. For example, if I use different name, and I don't know, I can use this in move to another location, but also I can use move another location and also change the name, the file name. In this case, let me see, top secret missiles codes. Something like that, and just list that. And as you can see, we don't have any more different name. I don't know, we already have top secret missile files, well, missiles codes, and it's the same content. If you use cat again, we have the same content. We have the whole document content because we are using cat. And maybe the last one to finish this episode, because maybe it's something hard to understand the two last episode. I'm going to give you a pretty short episode. In this case, I'm just going to use rm, that stands for remove, and remove allows us to remove files and folder, but also we have rm dir, and maybe has the same usage. So let's start with rm. Let me remember the files names. For example, we are going to remove my pretty file dot whatever. So let's rm my pretty file whatever, and we don't have longer this file, but also we can remove a folder. In my case, I can use rm and r like a recursive operation, because if we don't use this, the terminal going to send me a warning or an error that cannot remove this because it's a directory. We can use also rmdir, I don't know, and maybe it's funny because show me a different error message like directory is not empty. So in both the scenarios we have to use r argument to specify make this operation recursively and remove all the content and the folder itself. So rm, we're going to use rm at the beginning or at the first place, and as you can see we don't have longer the I don't know folder, but let's create a folder again and use rmdir because it has the same purpose. So mkdir I don't know 2 and create a file inside I don't know. Yeah, I'm the better guy naming something, naming stuff. So let's use, and also maybe you can use 3, but by default 3 doesn't come install doesn't come installed by default. So you maybe in some occasions you have to use sudo dnf install 3, or if you are in Debian you have to use apt install 3, or if you are using some pacman based distribution. Now if you are using a linux based distribution you are going to use pacman s3. And maybe I just make a point on the commands because you have to remember the commands that you use independent the linux distribution. Yeah, mostly or the majority of the linux command are shared between all the distribution, but there are maybe some commands that we don't use to share with others, but the idea is just to cover the specific commands that we share around all the linux distribution or linux family. So we already have this one, and let's use the r or remove directory r id key 2. Okay, I'm sorry because this is not the correct argument, so let's use the man command and use, for example, if we use this one, ignore fail on non-empty, that ignore is maybe the directory is not empty. We can also remove the parents, let's see, and I think that's all. So maybe if you're asking how can we remove recursively the whole folder, we only have to use the p argument and also include, maybe if you want, the verbose to know in every moment where is the command or what files or directory are being removed. So rmdir pb, in this case adk2, and as you can see it's not possible. And maybe if you are waiting for remove this directory, this will be impossible or it won't happen, because the idea behind rmdir is avoid to remove our directory if the directory is not empty at all. Maybe this is like this command is useful because it refuses to remove our non-empty directory, and maybe it's like a safety catch in situations where maybe you may want to be absolutely sure that you are deleting is a directory and the directory is maybe empty before deleting it. Instead, or rmdir rmr that just remove the directory, doesn't matter if the directory has content or not. So the idea behind this one is maybe just try to remove or delete empty directories, because an empty directory doesn't matter at all. It's not a big deal, just remove it. So I hope this video was helpful and see you in the next time. Bye bye.